When are you going to start talking again?
Breathing in your chest, infects your lungs. You find a rash followed by boils. The boils they will spread, they turn to black, swallow your body till you're dead. You need to realize that the worst really feels like you.
What's up, everybody? This is Sugarista Talking Again podcast. We're here on another edition of the show. This is The Tap. I am here with my guest, Charlene Magaña of Sugar by Char.
Hello, guys.
What's going on? How are you?
Good, and you?
I'm pretty damn good.
I'm good
I would
too.
never in a million years would I think that I'd be sitting here talking to my niece
Yes.
about your business, licensed esthetician.
I know.
Like in this day and age, it seems like everybody has their own business online.
For sure.
Right? We're talking on the live how it's so easy to start your own business. If that's what you really want to do, it's so obtainable. You can do that yourself.
No, most definitely.
But like again, never would I thought I'd be talking to my niece. So once thanks for coming on,
Thanks for inviting me.
and then we're just gonna go out there and start asking some questions.
Yep, I'm ready.
All right. So what's your favorite barbecue? No, I'm kidding. Talk to us about where you grew up.
So I grew up I was born in Riverside, so Riverside County. All my Inland Empire people
Wow,
and girlies,
shout
shout
out.
out. Yep, shout out the IE. I know a lot of people aren't a fan of us, but I enjoyed it.
Wait, why do you say that? Why do people are
I don't know. People are always
People hate on Riverside and
yeah, for some reason.
IE? Yeah, well, IE has high crime rates. The housing market's terrible.
But I came out of there, so there has to be something good.
There you go. A lot of good things come out of the IE, so let's not hate on the IE.
Yes, but no, I grew up in Corona, California. So anyone who knows, I was Riverside County. I was the first because family, all you guys, my mom, dad came out from LA County, so we kind of started fresh. I was the first one to.
That's right, huh? The first one.
For our generation, yeah.
Yeah, no shit.
To get started in the IE.
In the IE.
So yep, that's where I grew up.
Born and raised.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I was gonna say, wait, no, you're from Pico, but that's your
No,
mom.
yeah.
Your mom's from Pico. Okay.
Not I.
Yeah, no, not you. No, not you. So, you grew up in Corona.
Yes.
How was your experience growing up in high school? You were one of those people that enjoyed high school, or you just wanted to get out of there and be a big girl and do your own things?
I was always independent as a kid. My parents could speak. I feel like I'm sure you guys always kind of seen it.
Yeah.
But no, I had a great childhood. No complaints. Luckily my parents both worked hard, so I didn't have to struggle. Food on the table, roof over my head. High school was great. I was a 2020 graduate, so I did get my senior year kind of stripped from me. Yes, COVID. Yeah. That definitely, I mean, everything happens for a reason, but I will say that kind of trickles in. It definitely changed my college experience.
Yeah.
Kind of led me to dropping out and doing what I'm doing now. So who knows if I would have been a college graduate if COVID didn't happen, but it kind of ended up that way. But no complaints. It was a good life, good childhood. Of course, rocky like everybody else has some moments, but other than that, can't complain. I loved it. I still love it.
Any plans on going back to school, or this is your thing? This is your calling. You feel like being an entrepreneur or business person. This is what you like to do. This is what you want to do.
No, I can't lie. I definitely do have times where I'm like, should I go back to school? Should I not? I don't think it's my. It's not in like my 5-year plan, I guess I could say, as of right now. I'm definitely focused on just building my business and my craft. As for being an entrepreneur, I did go to college, so I had the intent of going to college. It wasn't until I got my first job and I realized I know I can't be working under anyone else.
What was your first job?
Walmart.
Yes,
I was a
cashier.
cashier.
Oh, a cashier.
I was a cashier at Walmart. So
you went straight to cashier at Walmart?
Yes.
Walmart? How old were you?
I had just turned 18.
Okay.
I had turned 18 June 2020, and I got hired at Walmart July 2020. And It was in the midst of COVID.
So you're a Gemini?
No, I'm a Cancer.
Oh, you said June. Is that
end of June 30th.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I don't know much about the astrology, but I know I'm a Gemini, so. Okay.
No, yes. So So Walmart was my first, which I mean, I feel like collectively as a society, everyone kind of feels the same about Walmart. It's even worse working there.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe if I had another job, I would have been okay. But I knew from the get go, I was like, I can't work for somebody else.
How long were you at Walmart?
I was at Walmart for 11 months, so almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yes, but
you just couldn't deal. I'm done. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
you found a better job, or you just couldn't stand being there.
I couldn't stand. It was getting to a point where I was dreading to go to work. And if you could imagine, I mean, I was 18. Luckily, I lived with my parents. I had nothing else to really stress at the time, opposed to going to work. So I was just dreading it. But I am a job hopper, so after Walmart, I had about 9 jobs after that, and then finally led me to opening my business.
I've met some job hoppers in my
Yes.
time before, so nothing wrong with that. You're young, trying to figure out the right spot for you, so there's nothing wrong with that. I'm at my job right now, and I just started 2 years, almost 2 years.
Yes.
So hey, there's nothing wrong with finding a new jale. So
No, yeah, for sure. I definitely recommend if you're able to. Luckily, I was in a position where I lived with my parents. I didn't have to pay rent, so I was able to afford to hop from job to job. So I think if you're in the position to just gain experience, meet different people, you should totally do it.
I think your generation is that they're I guess you could say fortunate in that way where it's good or bad.
Yes and no.
Everything's so expensive right now that you can't even afford to buy your new place.
No, most definitely.
Sometimes rent, everything else accumulated. It's just so expensive to live on your own that your parents are forced to help you out.
I think it's like pick your poison.
Obviously they want to, but I think
sure.
they're forced to make it work.
Most definitely.
Where like my generation, we couldn't wait to get out.
Yes.
And we did, and most of us did. We took off. We did our own thing. So that seems like your generation. That's what it is. It's
yeah, most definitely.
ADUs are off the roof, through the roof. Everybody's building ADUs so that their kids can move back in there. Mm-hmm. It's just convenient,
It is, and then like you said, it's expensive. So for a long time, I mean, now I don't have that mindset. I have that mindset of where I'm in the next part of where I'm ready to even entertain the idea of moving out. But for a while, and for most people, especially my age, I'm gonna be 23. It's like, why even bother saving? It feels so unattainable to have your even rent, let alone own property right now.
Mm-hmm. It's tough.
So
it's still possible. It's still possible, definitely. But it's just tough. Yeah. A lot harder than it was before. Oh yeah. So what was you said you had like 9 jobs.
Yes.
What was the worst job? Was it Walmart?
No, so my worst job, I'd say, was actually Ulta. So it was still in the realm of beauty, yes.
Ulta?
It was still in the realm of...
Why was that the worst job? I would think that would be like that because that's your, esthetician, cosmetology type of thing.
No, yeah. And funny enough, Ulta was the job that pushed me to start my own business. One, I was a benefit brow expert. If any of my Ulta people know, I
don't know. You got to explain that to me.
So, the brand Benefit, they do brow products. They have like brow pencils, so on and so forth. My position was waxing brows, so I was still waxing. Funny enough, I don't do brows. Don't ask me to do brows. I won't do them. But I think with working for somebody else in the beauty industry, I was getting frustrated only because I realized, of course, they show you how much the services are. So I was getting a little frustrated because I was getting paid $20 an hour, but people were paying $50, $90 an hour to do the service.
Yeah.
So my mind was kind of like, okay, should I work for somebody else or should I get these clients to pay me the 90 plus an hour?
Let's eliminate the middleman.
Yes. But other than that, I feel like most jobs, the main thing was management. I didn't have the greatest experience. I definitely miss the coworkers. I love the girls. I love makeup, everything when it comes to being girly. So it definitely was a good place for me that I enjoyed. But it was frustrating selling something, trying to hit numbers that you're not passionate about. I couldn't do it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So that's a perfect segue to your job, your business.
Yes.
Because that exactly like you said led you to start your own business. At what point after that did you think, okay, I'm gonna do my thing, I'm gonna go to school for this? Was it right after?
So actually at Ulta, by that time, I had already had my license for about a year and a half.
Okay.
I was hired on as a licensed professional.
Okay.
A little backstory prior to that, after I was licensed, I worked in Orange County. So everybody knows from the IE to Orange County is a nice little commute.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing that for almost about 2 years. I was working for another sugaring spot. That's where I learned how to sugar.
Okay.
What kind of pushed me, I was same thing kind of with the job hopper aspect. I was getting tired of that employer that I was working for. So when I had went to Ulta, that's when the frustration came. And I was a little ballsy with it. I did have savings for my other job. Like I said, it was a little easier said than done. Of course, I live with my parents. So I was fortunate enough to be saving. And it just hit me. I always had it in the back of my head. And it was just like, I need to do this now or never. Now that I don't have major responsibilities like a kid, a husband, a mortgage.
Right.
So
get your business started now and get everything going now so that when you start your family, it's almost as if it's very established. I mean, you maybe bring an assistant that can help you out with it, you know? That'd be cool. That'd be really good. So when you started, did you start out of your house? From your home?
No. So when I started my business, I am still at the same suite that I've started at. So I'm at Nelly B Beauty Studios in Corona, California.
Shout out to Nelly B Beauty
Shout out to Nelly B Beauty Studios. I was just scrolling on Instagram. My landlord, Nelly, love you, had a ad running, and something in my gut was like, I need to do this right now, right here. So I had inquired to, see rent, all that good stuff, amenities that were going to be within the suite. And I went off of there. And then, of course, it does vary by state. For the state of California, technically you cannot be working out of your home.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. So you cannot be home-based. So that was just something I didn't want to risk. And another thing, I just personally, since I do live with family, I wouldn't have been comfortable with kind of people coming in and out. That was another thing. And of course, wanting to make you guys comfortable. I didn't want you guys hearing the, racket, ruckus of family in the background.
That's one of the things too, like not only like uncomfortable for your family, but like your clients.
Oh no, for
sure. Be like, I mean, you got random people coming in here in and out or whatever. Like that's
I don't want to bring you guys in. You see my dad and brother just watching TV.
Yeah, and we already know your dad likes to lounge around. With sometimes,
Chonies.
Shout out to Carlos. He's also an alumni of the podcast.
Yes. I started from the studio right off the bat. I'm still there. Love it. So that's where I'm at now with my business in the studio.
And you went, and now there you go. So we're gonna take a quick little break, and we'll be right back. Okay.
I'm kicking back and I'm good.
And we're back. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that small little video. It was just a small little taste of what she does in studio. So again, in studio, you said you found this place online on just Instagram. As far as commute, how close is this to you?
So my studio is only 10 minutes from my house.
As opposed to like driving to Orange County,
yes,
right?
I had basically our commute before. Yeah. So now being so close is, I love it.
Of course. Yes. It's the best thing. It's less wear and tear on your vehicle.
Most definitely.
No, you have your own car now. Okay. Starting your own business.
Yes.
Now, everybody has this misconception about, I need to do an LLC. I got to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars, not hundreds, but thousands of dollars. I need space. I need real estate. There's so many misconceptions about starting your own business. And if you can please elaborate on how you started yours. Are you an LLC, you sole proprietor? Which one are you? What's the easiest way? I'm sure you went through all those motions. Yes. And for those out there that are trying to start their own business, how do they go about doing it?
No, yeah. So for starters, only because I thought, business LLC.
Right.
That's not the case. I'm a sole proprietor myself. Definitely what I will say, do your research, because it is even different from if you have a storefront, if you're renting, if you're working for somebody else, because especially in the beauty industry, a lot of employers will have you as a sole proprietor, even if you're technically working under them. So definitely do your research. Myself, I was recommended not to do an LLC. One, I don't have a corporation.
Right.
It's just myself. I only rent. I don't have a business, and I do have a business, but I don't have employees, so on and so forth. One thing I will say is I'm forever learning. I'm about a little over a year into my business. The amount of things that I've learned from day one to now is
I'm sure
wild.
day and night, yeah.
Oh, no, for sure. But that's the main misconception, only because it's always up in the air, especially with the beauty industry, since we're performing a service and we're hands-on the client. It's a lot of more kind of loopholes and just things you have to figure out. Of course, it's different when you're insurance, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But as for getting an LLC, everyone's different. I definitely recommend either a tax person if you can, or a mentor. Luckily, my landlord and the owner of Nelly B Studios did help me a lot.
Okay.
So I do have to shout out to Anel again. She did help me a lot. Just learning through her, and luckily she wasn't trying to hide any of the secrets. She was very much like, I'll give you the info. Oh no, for sure. Because one thing I will say about being a business owner, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know how to do this. You have so many possibilities, especially online. There's no excuse not to open one now.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you could tell them what to do. 99%, they're not going to do it.
Yeah.
So never feel, especially in this industry, we are predominantly female. I do feel, or just in general, unfortunately, you do meet people that are like, oh, I had to do this all on my own. So why would I tell you? You figure it out on your own.
Mm-hmm.
One, in this industry, you don't want to burn bridges because we're all about connects, referrals, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And two, the chance that somebody's actually going to do it, unfortunately, is low. Hopefully that does change for a lot of men and women, and people are comfortable and confident to start their own business.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, so that was the main thing. So you don't always need an LLC.
No, yeah.
Definitely do your research. Everyone's different. The beauty industry is very broad. So if you get a professional, I don't want to tell you what to do or what not to do, but you don't need one. Follow up, see if it fits for you and your business.
And of course, it's safe to say this is your personal opinion on these things, and then your experience with this, right? So yes, this is your knowledge of it and what you know, but is there information out there online? Of course. Is there people you could talk to? Of course. Other people you can talk to. I think it's your due diligence to talk to as many people as you can.
Oh, most definitely.
When I started Avenco Services, I was really adamant about starting my LLC, and I saw how much thousands I was gonna have to pay. And when I started breaking, and I even got advice like from friends of mine that I trust, like, get your LLC. And yes, it does make sense, like you said, if you have employees, if you have to pay for medical, like that, insurances, all those, yes. But like sole proprietor, like if you work, I work with vehicles, with cars. I could damage a car, but I'm insured under $1 million policy. Like it'll take care of me. Yes. It's gonna, so you can do it on your own, sole proprietor. You just need insurance, right?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
There's certain things that you need to go out there and do for your own business, right? But that's one of those misconceptions that people think LLC, and it's just not.
And then for those, only because I remember hearing LLC, I'm like, what the hell is an LLC? Yeah. It's basically, for those who don't know, it separates you from your business. It's to protect your assets. So in the future, once I do have a corporation, and once I do get employees, own a home, etc., just so, God forbid, someone tries to sue me, they don't go after my personal, what's under me as Charlene. It's separate. Sugar by Char is its own entity, essentially. Yes. So for those who are like, LLC, what's that? That's like the gist.
Yeah, and by no means, I don't know if it came off as like bad-mouthing LLCs. No way ever was I trying to do that.
Because some of you guys need LLCs.
Yeah, because some of you for sure need to have an LLC.
Yes.
But yes, definitely. I know people say like, oh man, dude, you got your house, you got to protect your house. But I mean, yes and no. There's certain things that you could, but
different. And insurance plays a big role.
Part of it.
Big role.
It helps you out a lot.
LLC, no insurance, then no point.
Yeah. So have you filed your taxes yet? You did once already.
I did once for business.
How was that? Was that cool? Like getting
it was a little nerve wracking. Only because before I did a business, I did TurboTax for my own by myself.
Yeah.
I definitely, when you're dealing with the IRS, money, business, that's another thing with business. You'll hear people try to do shortcuts, this and that. to each their own. One, only to educate yourself. You don't want to learn the wrong way right off the bat. Find a tax person. Yes, it's an investment, but in the business industry, you're not going to make money if you don't spend it, especially when it comes to knowledge. So, yes, I did find my taxes. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't. I thought I was going to be a little a little scary, but no, luckily, I got a great tax lady. She was very informative, helped me with everything and how to do that. So, luckily, now, knowing what I know with taxes, I have a better plan. I'm more organized, so the following years of business will be a lot more smooth.
Yeah, a lot more smooth.
Yes.
That's good. So, for those that missed the live and aren't too familiar with sugaring,
yes,
let's talk a little bit about sugaring and what exactly because we said that you're full body hair removal, specialty in Brazilian wax.
Yes.
You do culos and everything too. También si quieres.
Booty cheeks.
Booty cheeks. But explain to what sugaring is, the difference between sugar, wax, shaving. You don't want to shave. We already talked about that.
So the main difference, I do sugaring. It's a little bit different than waxing. Ultimately, we're removing the follicle from the root. We're removing it completely opposed to shaving. You're just kind of getting what's on top of the surface. And then also with sugaring, it's natural. So it's just sugar, lemon, water. I'm also using my hand. I'm not using any sticks, any strips. So typically it is a little bit of a quicker service. I don't consider myself a speed waxer only because you got to cater to different clients. Some need a little bit more attention than others, depending if it's their first time, if they've been here for a bit. So, but that's the main difference with waxes. You have different brands, different things that are in the wax. We have waxes at Target.
Or whatever, right?
Yes, chemicals. You definitely have to be aware of what waxes you're using. I always like to say, only because we're team no shave, there are a bunch of great waxes that I love. Personally, I'm not a fan of wax on myself, but I'd be lying if I say everybody loves sugaring, because that's not the case. So definitely just try what works for you.
Yeah. And I'd like to add that I've never used any of your services, but I'm also team no shave, as you can tell.
Yes, like as long as you're not shaving, you're good.
No, so some of the services that you offer, can you name some of them?
No, for sure.
It's not just Brazilian wax, even though that is your specialty.
That's my specialty. So for those of you that don't know what a Brazilian is, it is, yes, the female genitalia, vagina. We're removing the front, the labia, the lips, and then backside. We call it the butt strip. It's just your hair around your booty hole. That is my specialty. That's what I specialize in. It's the most popular service. Commonly, anytime you hear waxing, sugaring, that's usually what people are getting. But I do everything. So everything except eyebrows. Don't like eyebrows.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that already.
But chin, cheek, underarms, arms, back, belly, legs, even your toes. People get their toes sugared. I do all that. So full body, anything you need, I do it.
The process of the sugar, is it hot?
So that's another nice thing with sugaring. A lot of people who get waxed, I've just from personal experience, I've been burned before, especially being in esthetician school. We're practicing on each other. We don't know heat control and all that good stuff. And then with sugaring, it at most is warm, which is nice. We have different consistencies. You're never going to get extremely hot, because at times with the waxing, sometimes it's not even the wax itself, it's the heat that gets you irritated. So with sugaring, you don't even have to, that worry is eliminated completely. As for how it's applied with waxing, traditional waxing, you apply it with the hair growth. With sugaring, we're applying against the hair growth, and we're pulling with.
So that means hair grows this way, and you guys apply this way?
No.
Or this way? Against.
So I'm going against.
Against. So you go this way, and then you go
with.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So what does the hair follicle do, or how does it grow back at that point? Has anything to do with growing back? Or
So most definitely, we're damaging the follicle by removing it completely. Everyone has a hair cycle. So typically, if you've ever gotten wax, they'll tell you to come in 4 to 6 weeks. I always recommend to come in at least 4 weeks, only because that's the full cycle of your hair growth. So with the beginning of waxing, it's always good to stay on top. And then another big thing, your first appointment when you're shaving, you're disrupting the natural cycle of the growth. So even when you're shaving, if you guys notice, some are stubbly, some are poking out one day and then they'll poke out the next. Yeah.
Okay.
So it removes it. It's going to damage it. The more damaged it is, a lot of people get freaked out by that word.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good thing only because your hair is going to be more sparse, and even sometimes you get bald spots, which is nice because it's a sign that hair is not going to grow back. It's going to continue being thinner.
Okay.
Yes.
So what about facial hair, like for men?
So facial hair, that's a big thing. I actually do not recommend men get their hair sugared. I will say, only since sugar is a lot more gentle, with men hair, it's a lot more coarse, it's a lot more thick, especially on the face.
Yeah.
Waxing will do the trick. So that's one thing I do recommend for men, is if you did prefer, instead of shaving, or even with the blade, definitely do some waxing.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that common for men to wax their face, like facial hair like that?
It's common.
Yeah?
It's definitely common. I know even a lot of barbers, only because barbers do have to get certified as well. Barbers offer the face waxing and all that good stuff. Yes.
Well, I've never seen any guy get their face waxed.
No, yeah.
Never even heard of it. I was just thinking like...
No, even eyebrows and all that good stuff. I will say sugaring. I personally don't do it. There are a lot of sugaristas that do eyebrows.
Sugaristas. Yes.
That's our name.
I love it.
Sugaristas that do sugaring tech, sugaring specialists that do brows. I personally don't, but yeah, a lot of men could do as they like.
See, you learn something new every day.
No, for sure. And then I'm sure there are some sugarists that are comfortable performing on men's facial hair.
Yeah.
That's where I'll say I'm not the most comfortable in, so I rather not. I definitely, client comes first. I rather you go to someone who is.
So you do think of their client's needs. You're not gonna just, hey, like earlier, I a few months ago, I was gonna get a tattoo.
Yes.
And it was really complex.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent it to an artist online, and she was straight up and honest and said, "I'm sorry, but I can't do that."
No, most definitely.
I would. There's a lot of people that will try it and they'll fuck it up. And she's like, I don't even want to try it.
No, most definitely. I think that's a big thing with being a business owner, is putting your ego to the side and being honest with a client when, one, you're not comfortable, or two, you're just truthfully not skilled.
Yeah.
I have no issue, only because at the end of the day, it's my business. God forbid I do something out of my skill set.
Yeah.
You don't know how that client would respond. Leave a review. And one, it's sharing the love. I know a bunch of people who are comfortable and vice versa. Some people not be comfortable with a certain service that I provide. We're always swapping. So that's a big thing for sure, is don't let your ego get in the way of your business and the services you're providing, for sure.
All right.
Yes. And it's a red flag if your service provider is trying to do everything under the sun.
We do everything. We do everything.
They're not uncomfortable with it. Yes.
I mean, I can't think of someone to just, hey, we can do everything and we do everything 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You're definitely red flag, like we said. You should question it. I'm gonna take a page out of one of my friends' podcasts. He has a segment on his show called Fan Questions.
Okay.
These are my fan questions. So for the listeners, there's no page here, invisible page. What are some of your experiences that you had, personal experiences that you had sugaring, that are memorable to you? Good, bad, ugly, that you can think of right now off the top of your dome.
Off of my head, luckily, I will say I'm very privileged. So far with my business, I haven't had any horrible experiences. I will say, working for somebody else, there was a few. We did offer training specials, so typically a service, Brazilian specifically, would be $60. When you're training, it's $15.
Oh, wow.
Yes. That's another...
But then you got to sign a waiver, probably.
Oh, yeah,
right?
For sure. You're signing a waiver
if
only
something
because...
goes wrong,
yes, if something goes wrong, all that good stuff. That wasn't more so the client. So we do always recommend, when you come from shaving, to have at least 2 weeks of hair growth. The length does play a role. I will say, with sugaring, your enemy is extremely long hair. One, because...
With shaving or
with sugaring?
With sugaring. It's long hair?
Long hair, yes.
Okay.
Only because there are times... In the beginning, once your skill set is acclimated, now I have no issue. You can give me 5-inch hair. I'll know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But when you're first starting off, it's usually a hot mess. This poor lady, I want to say she had probably about 4 or 5 months of hair growth. No shaving, no nothing. Yes.
Down there?
Yes.
Oh.
And
It's
now,
a jungle down there.
yes, now I have no issue dealing with that. Back then, I'm not being dramatic. I was probably in the room. Opposed to now, I take at most 20 minutes. Usually 10, 15 is my sweet spot. I was in the room with that client for about an hour and a half.
Jeez. She's like, all right, here we go.
Yes.
Let's get in there.
So that was amazing. It was one of my first, and I remember I questioned. I was like, "Is this
Do I really
for me? Do I really want to do this?" Yes.
Oh man.
But
that's because you weren't experienced with it.
It was a little bit of both. I feel like all odds were against. One, I wasn't comfortable. Two, you also have to be entertaining the client. You're speaking to them. You're multitasking. When you're first learning, it's a little hard to be comforting to them. And okay, I gotta make sure to do this step, then this step. So I think all odds were against me, but luckily we went past that. It's always like funny to think back of what I used to deal with compared to now. But that was one of the main things. And then another thing, my client actually loved her too. She's one of my favorites. I think it was a cool experience. She actually bought me a book one time. Yes. So clients.
Just like a random book?
No. It was How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. If anybody knows that book, it's a great book. One especially for entrepreneurs, only because you do, regardless if your business is not working directly with people, you're gonna have to come in contact with somebody, whether that's investors, mentor, so on and so forth. So that was probably the coolest moment, only because it kind of hit me like, oh my gosh, these are not just my clients, like they think of me, or it was very much like, would be great for you to excel, or they want to see you thrive and do better. So that was another good experience.
Second to their physician, you're like the closest one that gets down there.
No, probably. Most definitely. It's usually yourself, your partner, and then me who's down there. So we're definitely on
very intimate. That's
on another level. Yes.
I think it's safe to say you guys are family.
Oh, most definitely, yes.
That's pretty cool. God, I almost lost my train of thought because I was so.
You're thinking about it.
Because if you think about it, like you're down. I mean,
no, it's an intimate service.
You said earlier, like you have to have a conversation. Like
most
this
definitely.
is like I'm thinking a mortician is like having lunch while they're
for sure,
getting someone together and ready for to send them on their way, right? And I know it's extreme and totally different, but like you're there, patas para arriba, or whatever, and you're like, so how was the weekend?
I'm like, what did you eat for lunch today?
And it's totally normal.
Yeah, I'm already. That was
Meanwhile,
another
I'd
thing.
be sweating bullets and just like holding in a fart, just like you know what I mean?
No, it happens, and it's funny too because a lot of people go to esthetician school with the intention of becoming a waxer, and then once they dabble in it, they're like, absolutely not. No, thank you. Because funny enough, when I went to esthetician school, I was actually looking to do facials. You couldn't pay me $1,000 to do a facial.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we were gonna do a live demonstration here, but I guess that's out of the question.
No.
Man, really, huh?
Yeah, no, I just didn't.
But what is it about facials that you can't? That's not your thing? It seems like it's the easiest thing in the world.
No, for sure. To be 100%, I never felt confident with somebody else's skin, and as someone who's dealt with acne, I remember just not only the physical but the mental aspect you have to go through.
Yeah.
And it's just the frustration of other people. I knew it was something that unfortunately I was never able to deal with.
Yeah.
So kudos to all my facialists and everything, how you guys do it. Because it definitely is. You got to trust the process, and you got to make sure your client's following regimens, so on and so forth. Another thing, I like quick services. So facials, you're in there for 30 minutes to 2 hours sometimes with one person. I love to chat. So 4 people in an hour opposed to one person for 2.
Yeah.
Yes. So
it's definitely more
money too.
More dinero,
Yes.
What's your longest service?
My longest service is legs. So legs is typically, I have it on my books for an hour. Once, and then of course, if you guys could imagine, different body sizes, different, and smaller people usually take a little quicker, larger, longer legs take a little longer. Also the type of hair, different ethnicities, different coarse hair, and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
At most an hour. I personally haven't taken longer than an hour. As in my business, I definitely, when I was working for somebody else in training, taking about 2, almost 3 hours.
Damn.
In the beginning, yes. But now, no, it's quick. Sometimes even once your growth cycle's intact and your hair's thinning, take like 20 minutes on a full leg. Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that's full leg from like pelvis all the way to the ankle?
Yep, all the way to your ankle. And your toes if you ask.
Toes if you ask.
Yes.
I can't imagine you not getting your toes done if you did everything else but your toes.
Some people don't rather not. Feet, I get it. They want you not to touch your feet. Personally, I'm like, get it all.
Yeah, get it all. I mean,
if
I figure, if you're going to do all that, might as well get the feet too.
No, yeah.
Then it just looks like you're wearing like slippers,
No, for sure.
So all right, that's cool. Well, what's the end game for you? I know you're just barely getting started with this. This is the surface. So you're young. What's the goal for you?
So the goal, and I think most people, I want to have a source of income. I don't desire to be crazy rich or wealthy. I want to be comfortable, of course. I had a great childhood, but when I do have kids, I want to give them more than I had.
Right.
But no, to have a just source of income, and then I do genuinely love this space, the beauty industry. Working with other women especially is amazing. For sure, a short-term goal of mine as of right now, I do want to do commercial properties for other beauty professionals. So kind of like the Sola Phoenix salons that you see, rent out suites and help other people.
Okay. So so commercial as in the real estate, you want to get your own like Nelly type of thing.
Yes.
All right, there you go. That's cool.
Yeah. So exactly like what Nelly does.
Yeah.
It's kind of following her
You're
footsteps.
a true mentor.
Yep.
And it's cool that you're confident enough that she's probably someone that you're willing to help you out through the process.
Oh, no, for sure. That's like one thing. Another thing for sure in this industry, surround yourself with people who are going to help.
Yeah.
One, it's not benefit to either party if you're not helping each other.
Right.
So that's a big thing.
That's cool. All right. Well, there you go, you guys. Just a little bit of what Charlene does at Sugar by Char. If you guys were wondering what that was, that kind of service, that's what it is. I know for myself, I knew she was doing it again for that year or more, but I kind of never really knew, and we never really talked about it.
Not too much,
right? Like we, jokes here and there that I would throw in there, like an old Theo would. But I definitely genuinely was interested into seeing what the process was, how it was, and how you got started into it.
Most definitely.
And I love to listen to where your passion is, and this is your passion, obviously. I thank you for coming on and sharing that with the audience. So.
Yes.
All right. Anything that you want to sign off with?
Not sign off, but I did have one more thing I wanted to say.
Please.
So a big thing is with the beauty industry, I'll make it quick. Never compare yourself to where somebody is now to later. Only because I was very frustrated in the beginning on why I wasn't getting so busy. I was a little ballsy starting off with 0 clients, no clientele, only because I went from Orange County to here. So that's a big thing. Don't put off the pressure. And then another big thing, the work you put in is what you're going to get out of.
Yeah.
So if you're not hustling and then you're confused on why you're not getting clients, why you're not making money, definitely always look inward. And then another thing, financially, I'm not ashamed to say I still have another part-time job. So a lot of your estheticians and so like how we spoke about how everything's expensive, that's the reality. So that's a big goal, is to just be on my business hopefully sooner than later. But no, definitely take the pressure. Don't be too worried about why is this person so busy? Why is that person so busy? A lot of people like to make themselves look busy, which is a good thing. You should always be making yourself look busy, even if you're not.
Right.
But no,
that's great advice, and that goes along with not just in your field, but in any business and in life in general.
Yes.
You kids out there, I know you guys are always watching these social media. Look, I'm talking like Gavin Newsom. Jesus Christ. You kids. You kids are over there. You guys are watching his Instagram videos, these YouTube videos,
Yes.
and thinking that that's reality. And in some cases, it may be reality for that individual, but not for yourself. So you have to take yourself back and use that as entertainment only.
Yes.
And live your life, around the people around you, your loved ones, your family. That's reality.
Social media is a highlight reel. Don't forget it.
That's
you're
all it
showing
is.
You're putting your best foot forward.
That's all it is.
So there's
While we
definitely-
post this on social media,
Yes, I'm
and
sure.
expect you guys to watch the whole thing.
Watch this.
But no, really, but seriously, this is entertainment. My form of entertainment, that I can offer to them out there, and then just another way for me to reconnect with a
Yes.
family member or friend, and there you go.
Yes,
So,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on, man, and salud, cheers
Salud.
to good business, good wealth, good health.
Yep.
All right.
Bye,
Salud.
guys.
Hey, until the next time, we're out.
Breathing in your chest infects your lungs. You find a rush followed by